Jewish community of Oporto. We're very pleased to receive you all here. As far as I know, it's the first time we've hosted a dinner for an academic conference like this one. So it's a great pleasure to receive you on your international conference on the Portuguese-Spanish Diaspora. I know it's gone very well in Lisbon. I hope it goes equally well in Oporto. Particularly, I'd like to welcome the organisers, Dr. Mekor Haim, Dr. José Alberto B, and Dr. Elvira Azevedo. And of course, we also have present the Honorary Consul of Israel in Oporto, Dr. JERÓNIMO, whom I'm going to ask to say a few words also. I just want to say, in relation to this synagogue, I'm not going to speak very much. Many of you will have seen it this evening. You will realize it's a very beautiful synagogue, and that it's the largest synagogue in the Iberian Peninsula. The community was founded 95 years ago. The synagogue was completed 8 years ago, and I think our founder, Captain Carvalho, will be very proud of the progress the community has made in the last few years. In particular, since the law that gives the right to return to Sepharad, to the Sephardic Jews, and which, as a result of this law, we have felt a great approximation now between our community and Sephardic communities all over the world. I'm happy to say that our community is growing in size. We've gone from a few dozen members a few years ago to over 200 members now, and you'll have noticed, as you noticed in the religious ceremonies this evening, many of our young members were also present. So, without further ado, I'll ask Dr. Jerónimo to say a few words also.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation. Firstly, I wrote 3 or 4 words only to remember the names. Mr. Mekor Haim, Director of the conference, members of the academic committee, Professor Elvira Meyer, responsible of Barlan University, of the Oporto and Lisbon University also, responsible of the Jewish community of Porto, Dr. Rothwell. It's a pleasure always to meet, to have the possibility to find you, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, in my name, and of course on behalf of Mr. Rafael Gamzu, the ambassador of Israel in Portugal, I must tell you that it's an honor to know you personally and welcome also you in this nice and very friendly city of Oporto. Thank you very much again for your presence between us. Let me also congratulate the organizers of the conference. It will be, of course, it is, of course, not it will be, but it is a very important conference. I must congratulate the organizers not only for the conference, but also for the selected themes. I'm sure that the conference will be a very, very important meeting, and it will give a very important contribution to a deeper knowledge about the Portuguese, Jewish, and about, of course, Spanish and Portuguese diaspora. In this, as Dr. Rothwell said, in this special, very special place. It's a very special place because, as you know, it's a holy place, the synagogue, Kadoorie Synagogue. In this place we can feel, if I can say it like this, we can feel the presence of one of the greatest Portuguese Jewish, Captain Basto, Abraham Israel Ben Rosh, his Hebrew name, and you can also be inspired by the extraordinary role that he has played in the Marrano's redemption. As I know, Professor Elvira Mayo will talk about this theme in the conference. So, my warmest greetings for all of you, and my best wishes for your stay in Portugal, in Porto, and the success of the conference. It will be, of course, a reality, not only yesterday, but tomorrow and after tomorrow. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to me to have the possibility to welcome again, and the best for you all. Thank you very much.
Now, as Dr. Shimon Haim.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Domingos JERÓNIMO, the Honorable Israel's consul in Portugal, Dr. Michael Rothwell, Board of Directors of the Jewish Community of Porto, the Kadoorie Mekor Haim Synagogue, and of course, all the members of the academic committee of the conference. I will start from Professor Elvira Mea, Professor Alberto Tabin, Professor Moshe Orfali, Professor Stoshinsky, Professor Shimon Sharvit, Professor Moshe Amar, and Dr. Yoel Marziano. And the last one, of course, Professor Yoshua El Colombre, who is in general the chairman of the academic committee of all the Dahan's activities during the year. This is indeed a historical moment to be here in the community synagogue Mekor Haim in Porto. After 500 years of the absence of any significant Jewish life in Portugal and Spain, and of course the expulsion of the Jews and the forced conversion, we are now witness to the renewal of Jewish communities in Portugal, and especially this one here tonight in Porto. We have come here, a large delegation of 120 researchers from all over the world to research, to study Jewish life of all the Portuguese Spanish diaspora, of course with the collaborative of our friends in the University of Lisbon, Professor Alberto Tabin, Professor Elvira Mea, and the Ashkelon College and the Ben Tzvi Institute. And for us, there is an important value to the connection with the Jewish history and creativity in this part of the world. Don't forget that by the end of the 15th century, just in this place, in Portugal and Spain, Provence and a little bit of North Africa were living more or close more to 80% of the Jewish world. So you can understand how it's really important for us to study and to learn about the history of our Jewish people in this area. We began this important conference in the University of Lisbon, and tomorrow we will end here at the University of Porto with close to 30 new research on the Portuguese Spanish diaspora. I wish to thank Dr. Michael Rothwell, that in matter of fact for me he's the director of the Jewish Community Synagogue, although he insists that he is only one of the members of the board of directors of the community here. But to tell you the truth, of course, when I came here, I met with him in this synagogue, and I felt that we have a good partner, we have a good host, and we are witness here for a warm hospitality. I would like to thank all the members of the conference and to wish all of us really a very successful continuing of the program tomorrow by the University of Porto. Thank you very much. During the time that we were here in the University of Lisbon and also in this place in Porto, I think we didn't pay attention enough to the contribution of Professor João Colombre, who is, in matter of fact, the chairman of the academic committee of the Dahan Center in Israel. And he is really in charge of this committee, not only for one convention, not only for one conference, but all the activities. And just last year, we had international convention about the Jewish people from Turkey, about the Jewish people in the community of Bulgaria, about other things besides the national events that we had in Israel. So I have the honor really to call upon Professor João Colombre to say a few words. Mekor Haim.
Dr. Domingos, JERÓNIMO, and Dr. Rothwell, and all organizers. I just want to add some words to what was said before. It's an honor and a pleasure for me to continue, I would say, the opening of now to go to opening the third part, the last part of the exciting conference we had. And I would like to say that I feel, and I'm sure that all of us feel the same thing, that this journey we have done to Portugal, to Lisbon, to Porto, is of course a scientific journey, but it's also a kind of journey to ourselves, to our inner self, to our identity. I just want to express some personal, to give some personal touch. I think you can hear that my English is some accent is not a Portuguese or Sephardic accent, but a French accent. Now, my forefathers were from Spain, and maybe from Portugal. We say that the Praguers were from North Portugal. Then my parents were born in Turkey, in Istanbul, and I myself was born in France, and I, as a little daughter, was born in Israel. This is a long journey, but what is strange is that each of us remain Sephardic Jew. That is to say that, and I suppose, I hope my daughter and all that the children and grandchildren and so on, even if they are Israelis and Jews, they will remain Sephardic Jews. And it means that Sepharad and Portugal as a very part of the Jewish identity, of the Jewish soul. And I believe, and what I have heard and what is said during all this marvelous conference, something like this is the same in the other direction. Part of, maybe a hidden part, but it's less and less hidden. A hidden part of the Sephar, of the Spanish and Portuguese soul, as something Jews, which we cannot be part of it. And I hope that this conference will continue to clear this fact, to make it appear, and that it will give place to more and more knowledge, of course, but also more and more friendship between the Jewish people and the Israeli people. I think it's very important because we have to emphasize that without Israel, we couldn't have, I think, made the same conference. It's very important that the Jewish people is now at his main place, his central place, his heart in Israel. So I hope that this conference will contribute more and more, not only to the knowledge of the culture and history of the two people, but also friendship and between all these people, between Portuguese people and Jewish and Israeli people. Thank you very much.